During the 2000s and the early 2010s, a surge of electronic influences found their way into metalcore as EDM became the biggest genre in music at the time. Warped Tour was flooded with synths and neon skinny jeans instead of mohawks and stick and poke tattoos, as the flavor of the day became electronicore bands. While it has tapered off and been normalized today, there are select groups who help push the genre to this point. Here are 10 bands who helped normalize electronic influences in metalcore during the 2000s. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to APTV and turn on all notifications so you never miss a video. And check out the link in the description to the Spotify playlist featuring all of the songs on this list. 10 metalcore bands who normalized electronic influences in the 2000s. Number 10. Enter Shikari. Few bands were as crucial to incorporating electronic influences into metalcore as Enter Shikari. The British rockers were champions of introducing hyped-up synths and bass wobbles to breakdowns and hard-hitting riffs since their beginning. They showed the rest of the pack that they did not need to pay attention to genres. Number 9. Bleeding Through. Bleeding Through helped the melodic death metal scene branch out with metalcore in a more direct way than their peers. The symphonic synths layered throughout their music created an entire movement. They brought an epic feel to metalcore with medieval sounds layered over ultra-brutal breakdowns for their peers to take a more serious approach to incorporating electronic elements. Number 8. The Devil Wears Prada. The Devil Wears Prada often infused electronic influences in subtle ways. However, they still squeezed in more overt examples of how synths could boost a song section early in their career. As one of the biggest bands to break away from the Warped Tour metalcore scene, many followed what they were doing. Although their sound has drastically shifted over the years, their early electronic influence paved way for countless others. Number 7. Sky Eats Airplane. While walking a thin line between metalcore and post-hardcore, Sky Eats Airplane were a huge proponent for pushing forward electronicore and 8-bit electronic influences into metalcore. At the time their albums were dropping, the inclusion of these elements were like a reset button on metalcore. It offered something fresh for fans who were tired of chugging breakdowns churned out by the scene. Number 6. Attack Attack. Attack Attack's influence on the entire metalcore scene is undeniable. While they became the laughingstock of metal with their crabcore movement, there was much to celebrate as their influence became more apparent. Their music changed people's views on including electronics into metalcore. With their mass effect on acts who came after them, it's obvious that they were a huge proponent for normalizing this sound. Number 5. I See Stars. While they are influenced by metalcore, pop-punk, and post-hardcore, I See Stars are equally enthralled by dubstep and EDM. Their sound is densely rooted in danceable beats. They've had a huge effect with making their music acceptable while pumping out nightclub meets mosh pit styled songs that became a scene standard. Number 4. The Word Alive. Toward the end of the 2000s, The Word Alive brought experimentation within metalcore to a new level. Their Empire EP showed strong songwriting with soaring leads and dense breakdowns. They injected electronics in a more tasteful way that has since informed their approach as they matured over their sound. Number 3. Born of Osiris. While Born of Osiris's early releases straddled the line between deathcore and metalcore, one thing that remained present was a digital electronic sound laced throughout their music. They've shifted to a more technological influenced feel since those early releases. However, their push for this early on was a determining factor in what so many gent and metalcore bands pulled throughout the 2010s. Number 2. Abandon All Ships. Toronto electronicore crew Abandon All Ships were always rooted in metalcore, starting off as a Norma Jean cover band. As they developed their own direction, they pushed forward the inclusion of synth breakdowns in metal. EDM and metal didn't really make any sense at the time they were doing it. While it's essentially become commonplace now, this sound would not have been around today without them. And number 1. Crossfaith. Japanese metalcore crew Crossfaith took the hype of dubstep and brought it to metal and hardcore overseas unlike anyone else at the time. Their vocals often incorporated elements of hip-hop in the delivery too, showing they were quite ahead of the times by completely disregarding genre. Thanks for watching APTV. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel now to see all of our latest videos and updates.